Hello everybody and welcome back to day 34 of 100 Days of Code. In this episode we are going to be creating this simple timer. I know this is moving really fast, by the way, that is in seconds. I've sped it up so it looks a bit better and we can get to higher numbers quicker to test it and stuff. So yeah, we're building this. We're using Vuetify for the style and layout, and then Vue.js, as you could already tell by the title, to actually build the app. And you can get laps here, so if I lap this now, it will lap it with a new lap. A little thing will pop up at the bottom. We can click in here and we see our new lap. We can lap it again and again, and if we check in here, all the laps will be in there. So and then we can pause, stop it to restart, and again our laps are just there. So let's get cracking on making this. I'll see you guys in just a moment. Okay everybody, so welcome back. You guys will have not noticed anything. I don't know why I always say welcome back, it's kind of really annoying. But we're going to be cracking on. So we're going to be using the Vue CLI 3. We've gone over this many times in previous tutorials. I suggest if you wonder how you install it and stuff, you go back to our first Vue.js video called Vue.js Basics. I think it was between day 10 and day 15 that episode was, and it was really fun to do that. So we've done a timer app before. We did it for a plain vanilla JavaScript timer app, which is really cool. But this time we're taking it a bit further with the lap system and everything as well, which is going to be cool. So in here we're going to say Vue create, and then we're going to give our app a name. So this is going to be just called timer app. And now this is going to ask us a few things and what we want to use. And it is a basic Vue app, so we're just going to use the default preset. And we're going to let that install. Okay everyone, so it's completed. You'll be left with this like little bit at the bottom here telling you that you can CD into your app. So we're going to do that. We're going to CD into timer app and we're going to clear. And then we're going to do code and write dots. So this is going to open up my VSCode text editor. And then back in here we're going to run npm run surf to actually start the development server for this app, which is actually going to run it over here. Okay, so as usual, we have our public folder, which has this index, which our Vue.js renders into this element right here, as usual, and we can rename our title to be timer app, and that is good. And look at that, so as soon as we saved, the server has started, so you can see it tells you where to find what URL to find it on. Also, by the way, if you don't know what network is, it means anything connected to your Wi-Fi. You can actually access it by going to this URL here. So if I went on my phone and I typed in this URL, it would show me what we're seeing on our right here. So other than that, let's close public. We won't have to touch that again. And again, we don't need package lock. That was an accident. So in source, so as usual, we have our hello world component, our app.vue, main.js, etc., etc. But we want to install a plugin quickly because, as usual, so let's cancel our surf quickly, and we're going to run in here Vue add, and we're going to type in Vuetify, like always, to install Vuetify as a plugin for our Vue CLI. So give it 2 seconds, and we'll wait for that to do its thing. Okay, guys, so it's asked us what preset we want, and we're just going to go for the default. Just enough for heads up, we are going to be using a theme. We're going to be creating our own custom theme, so we're going to be changing the colours, which is default in Vuetify, to our custom. So I've been doing it wrong. I've only just realised I've been doing it wrong in my previous videos, and I'll show you how I've been doing it wrong once we get to it. Okay, everyone, that is now done. So if we now run npm run surf again and let that start up, we'll be able to see the difference. So if we go in here, we now can see we have this new plugins with the Vuetify.js in it. And as I just said, that I have been doing the theme wrong. I used to go into the node modules and edited the Vuetify color scheme inside the node modules, but that is the wrong way to do it. You can actually change it by going into plugins and Vuetify. Inside of here we have our, sorry, let me just change this to be indent using spaces 2, because else it's going to mess everything up. Yeah, so we've got our basic thing here. This is just saying for the icon font, use the material design icons. You can change this to be FA for font awesome. We could put a version in as well, so we can do font awesome 4, font awesome 5, but we are going to stick with material design for now. The next thing is underneath icon font, we can now write theme and that. So we're going to do theme, and we're going to write in here primary, and we're going to change our primary color to FFCE00. We're going to have our secondary color equal to we're going to set it to our dark color because I just find it easier to access that way. And for now, the rest of the colors can stay the same, so we're going to leave that. So they're the only two we want to change. And now if we hit save, you won't notice anything happen over here or anything because we haven't actually set it up. But if we refresh this page, it should show. There you go. So it's showing the beautiful. Oh, look at actually. So it's changed. So because we've changed our primary color, as you can see, all the links have changed color, which looks ugly right now because obviously they're using that for the wrong way. So if we change this to, let's say, a red, the links at the bottom there will turn to a red. But we do want ours, and if we change that, that is now changing our theme color scheme. So that is done. So in plugins, we don't need that no more. Next up, we want to go to our components, and we just want to delete the hello world component. We don't need it. It just gets in my way. We're going to have an error because it's referencing it in app here. So where we see toolbar, let's just remove everything from inside toolbar for now, and everything from inside hello world. We don't want that hello world. We don't want to import that component, and we want to get rid of the component down here. So if you didn't follow along, I've just removed all the references to that hello component we just deleted. Let's change this to using spaces 2, just because it's normally I like my tabs, but we have more room when we use it like this. So we want to do, so in feed content, we'll just go write hello world just so we can see it. So if we hit save, there we go, put it in there. And actually in feed toolbar, it's just there. So we're going to type in here dark, and then we're going to give it a, we're actually going to remove this for now, and in components, we're going to create a new component, and a new component is going to be called navbar.view. And in here, we're going to have a template as usual. We're going to have it called nav, and then we're going to have paste in our toolbar. And we're going to convert this to spaces 2 again because it keeps changing. So other than dark, we're then going to have a class of secondary, which is going to change the color of it. And if we go in here, we can now import that component. So we're going to say import navbar from, and we're going to say @/components /navbar. And then inside components here, we're going to write navbar. So this tells the Vue engine that we want navbar to be able to be rendered inside of this template, and up here we can now say navbar and hit save, and there we go, we've got the correct navbar in there now with the dark color theme. In here we're going to have a fee toolbar side icon, and we just need a /, and we're going to give this, actually, because we have this dark attribute on here, or dark directive. Directive? Now that sounds really weird when I say that. Is it called directive? Directive? I think so. I think it's called directive, but now I'm questioning myself. A directive, that's it. Something like that. So this is going to allow this icon to be white. So when we hit save, there we go. We've got a white icon. So if this dark wasn't on here and we hit save, as you see, it'd be this really dark coloured icon. But we don't want that. We want it to be the dark theme, so it's going to be utilising that. In here, we're also going to say fee toolbar title, and this is going to have the class of headline and text uppercase. And if you didn't know, any class I use is a built-in Vuetify class, and these classes are from the material design or the materialize palette, or framework, CSS framework. In here we're going to have 2 spans. We're going to say span times 2, hit enter. Oh, it's annoying when it does it like that. Let's drop this down and write in here tileless, drop that down, and write in here timer. And actually we try that like that. And inside the span here, we're going to give it a class of font weight black and primary dash dash text. So if we hit save, there you go, Tyler's timer right there. And in here we're going to say class is equal to font weight light. Again, these are all classes which are inside of Vuetify. So you have access to all these once you've installed Vuetify to your system. So we've got this Tyler's timer, which is all good. It looks good. We've got the hello world bit. But from our demo we showed off earlier, we had a drawer which had pulled out the laps. So we'll just go create that because you need to create this in the nav. Well, you don't need to, but I like to create this in the nav bar. I find it a lot easier. So we're going to say fee navigation hashtag, or not hashtag, what the hell? I mean hyphen draw. And we're going to pop that down and we're going to give this the dark and app attribute. So app basically links it to the app we are creating this for, so it's not leaky. If you don't, it won't render correctly, so just know that you use app. Maybe experiment, test out yourself. And dark, you guys know what dark is, it's a dark theme. One other thing we need in here is fee model, and what fee model does, basically if we have a prop that is it, or anything we pass through is true, then if this is true inside fee model, the drawer will be open. If it's false, it will be closed. So we're going to just say is drawer open for our boolean, and then we're just going to write in here fee toolbar. So we're going to create a toolbar inside of this, and inside the toolbar we're going to have a fee list. Actually, we're just going to have a fee toolbar title with the class of title. And in here we're just going to say laps. We hit save, it's going to be automatically hidden still, so we're not going to see anything. So if we now create our script, and in here we say, we'll just give it a name of navbar, and we're going to say data, and I'm going to use function, and we're going to say return is drawer open, and we're going to set this equal to true just so you can see it. So if we hit save now, there you go, as you can see it is now open. If we tap here, it's going to close it because it's going to set that equal to false. But we can also now toggle it. So we're going to set this to false to start with, and we're going to toggle it by using this sidebar icon. And to do that, we can use fee on or at click. So fee on is, so if we did here fee on and then semicolon click, that will be the same as doing at click. At is just a shorthand way of writing fee on. So now inside click, we're going to say is drawer open is equal to not is drawer open. So what this says is when we click on this, whatever is drawer open is equal to, set it to the opposite. So that means because this is equal to false, when we click this, it's going to be equal to true, and then we can just tap in the dark to close it. There we go. So that is quite simple. I also want to say on this toolbar, dark, no, I want to say class equal to secondary and hit save. Now if we hit this, there you go, so it's the same colour as in there. Because we aren't dealing with our laps just yet, we're not going to write anything else in here. Normally we will list out our laps down below. For now, let's close the navbar and continue on with the rest of the app. So the next part is actually getting to the timer part. So the actual bit where we set a timer, it tells us a time, and we render the time and we format it and stuff. Down in our data, we want to have a thing called timer state, and this is going to be by default stopped. And what stopped this means it is not running. It means it is completely stopped and is no longer running. The next one is current timer, and this one is going to be equal to 0 by default because it's going to be our seconds. You know, we could write in here seconds, but we're not going to for now. We're just going to say current timer, and then we're going to have formatted time, and this is going to be the way the actual time, but in a formatted way. So we're going to start this off at 0000, and then we're going to have a ticker which is equal to undefined, and this is going to be set to the ticket. It's going to be the interval that runs every second that increments the current timer. We're going to have laps which is equal to an empty array, And then we're going to have for the latest lap, which is going to be a formatted lap that we put in here just so we can display it correctly in the right places. And then we're going to have snack bar is equal to false, and that this snack bar relates to, if you remember when we hit lap, it brought up a little pop-up at the bottom here what said a lap was just made, and that is what that is going to do. So let's create the actual view for this. Let's create a new component. So in components we're going to write timer.view. Inside here we're going to have a template, and inside a template we're going to be using the grid layout, and we're going to swap this to indent using spaces too, and we're going to write fee container, and inside here we're going to write fluid, which means it's going to be full width off the current container, so the template or the fee content in here when we add it in. We're going to write fee layout, and then we're going to say fee flex. So what we've done here is we've said we've got a container, and then fee layout is like the flex box. So this is where we will add all our flex styles. And then fee flex is actually our like column or our row. It depends whatever flex direction you're using. And now we're going to say, so XS12, if you've ever used Bootstrap or Materialize before, they use classes which basically reference a 12 column grid. And this here says on the small screen, so XS stands for extra small screen, we want it to span across the full 12 whips. 12 grid blocks. So pretend this is split up into 12 sections, and XS12 is equal to all 12. Padding, or sorry, PA-3 stands for padding all, so all sides, is equal to 3, whatever the multiplier of 3 is. And this, I believe, is 16 when it's 3. 4 is 24, and 5 is 32, or something like that. We're going to be using 3, and then we're going to do a fee card. And this is equal to a standard card. And we're going to say fee card title. And now this is where we add some classes. So we'll say class secondary, white dash text, font weight light, display 2. So display 2 is like the second level heading. And then text uppercase. Basically sets it to uppercase, and now we're going to say justify center. Sorry, I had so stuck in my throat. So justify center will move our text to the center, and now in here we're going to write timer. So that's going to be false at first. So we need to create a script what accepts a few things. So we're going to call this a name of timer. And we're going to have props, and we're going to pass through props from the front end, and one of them is going to be called timer. The other one is going to be the state. So if we go back over here now, we're going to import the timer component we just created, and we're going to import it from @components/timer. Now in here we're just going to say timer. And now where hello world is, we're going to replace it with, if you haven't already guessed, timer. And if we hit save, there we go. We got our little heading there with our padding. We don't have actually, so we're passing through timer, but timer, we haven't said what timer is. So if we say timer is equal to, and timer is actually equal to, oh, sorry, we need to use fee-bind, or short for that, like we did with the fee on command, it's just a colon. And we're going to say in here, formatted time. After that, we're also going to say the state. We're going to break this down to a new line, tap that in, and we're going to do the same with this one. And we're going to set the state equal to state, I believe, or timer state. And that is it for now. So if we hit save, as you see, our text is now in there, it's centered, and it has all the classes relevant to what it needs to be. So we've got everything there pretty much working. If we go back into timer view now, we want to create the rest of the fee content for this timer. Or, sorry, it's actually called fee card text, which stands for the content. And inside the fee card text, we're going to have a fee list. And inside the view list, we're going to have a view tiles, and this is going to be view list tile, and this is going to have a class equal to success MB3, which stands for margin bottom. In here, we're going to have a span with the class of white text and font weight bold dot text uppercase, and we're going to write start. And we hit save. As you can see, that is now added in there. We're going to copy this tile and paste it below multiple times, 4 times to be exact. So we're going to have start, we're going to have lap, we're going to have pause, and we're going to have stop. And we need to change what these are. So we had this one as success, this one is going to be info, down here will be warning, and this one will be error. And we hit save, there you go, our colours have changed. We don't actually need MB3 bottom for this bottom one because it's known to actually push down other than the bottom of the screen. Now we've created the elements, we need to actually give them some functionality. And to do that, we are going to write in a few things. So we're going to go to this view tile here, and we're going to say, oh, sorry, let's break this down. So let's go. Oh. And let's write in here at click, so like we did before, but this time we're going to say $emit, and then we'll go past start. So what this does is say on click, we're going to emit something to our parent component, which is equal to start. So we're passing up here, so now up here we're going to say at, pardon me, sorry, so at start is equal to start. And basically what this did, so there's an event which we've passed up through, so we've screamed an event from our component timer up into our app.view. Our app.view is then catching that start, so at starts for feet on, which is an event listener, and it's called start because we named it start inside of the emit. Pardon me, I'm probably going to forget to cut that out, so I apologise. And then we're calling start, and what this does is we can now go down here and we can say methods. Inside method we're going to have a start method, it's equal to a function, and I want this to be a function too. And in here for now we could just log start. So if we open up the terminal and we attach this to the bottom of the dock for now, and we hit console. Property method is open draw, it's not defined on the instance but referenced during render. Make sure, what did we do? Okay, so that means that our data, our data really needs to be this type of function, and I'm not sure why. Don't ask me questions. So that's that bug gone. Next up now, if we hit start, as you can see when we click start, it runs start in our console. So we don't actually just want start to basically say start. We want start to call a function called tick. And to do that, we're going to write this.tick, which references this component and a method called tick. And now we're going to write tick, tick. And we'll say that equal to a function. And what tick will do is it will say this.ticker, so the ticker we added up in our data, or our state, and we're going to say set interval, and we're going to use an arrow function that goes this.current timer plus plus, so we're going to add it at 1 every single time this is called, and this is going to be called for now every quarter of a second, so it's going to go up really quickly just so we can test it. And now we're going to call this dot formatted time is equal to this dot format time, so we're going to create another function in here, and this is going to be this dot current timer. So now underneath this tick we're going to write format time, and we're going to get in here a variable called, or a parameter called second. We're going to write seconds, and then we're going to say let measured time, or time equal new date null, and then we're going to say measure time dot set seconds, and we're going to set seconds to seconds, the variable we pass through the format time function. So this, all this say is set this date seconds equal to the same seconds we pass through there, and now we're going to say let MHS time, so MHS time is equal to measured time dot to ISO string, and then we're going to say dot substring, and we're going to say 11 and 8. So this is hard to explain what this does. We need to also return MHS time. So measure time gets the date, and then we also set the seconds equal to the formatted seconds. Then we take measure time and we convert it to a string in ISO format, which ISO format, if you don't know, it's like date, month, year, then a time. And then we get the substring of that, which we only at 11 and 8 actually grabs us this here. So this part of the ISO time string, which is just the timer or the time. And then we pass that back. So that is just a neater way of writing it so it actually displays correctly. So once format time is run, our ticker is now running, and then this dot start tick in start. We also want to say this dot timer state is equal to running, and that is just going to say the timer is now running. Now I believe if I hit start, as you see, it starts going up really fast, and that is what we want. We can't stop it. We can only speed it up by constantly hitting start, because what start does is every time we hit start again, it starts another timer, which then iterates even faster and faster, and it creates a new instance every single time. But we're going to say here, tick, it's only going to be called, or shall I say start, is only going to be able to be called if this dot timer state is not equal to running. And that's the only time we're going to be allowed to call state. So now if we hit refresh, and we're actually going to set that equal to a double equal. And now if we hit start, actually it starts off quite fast, but if we keep tapping it, it's not going to get any faster like it just did a minute ago. It's just going to stay the same speed, because it's not calling it again. So that is good. Start, tick, we've got that off. So the start button works. We can now see our timer. Next up, we're going to go into our feed list, and we're going to break this down again. And we're going to write @click is equal to $emit lap. Okay, so we've done the same here. We've emitted a lap, and if we go back into here on our time app, we're going to say .lap or @lap is equal to lap. So we'll create another function underneath start, and it's going to be equal to lap, and lap is going to write a few things. So it's going to say this .laps.push, and so we're getting the laps property or state, and we're going to say seconds is equal to this current timer, and we're going to say formatted time is equal to this format time, and then we're going to say this current timer. Underneath that, we're going to say this latest lap is equal to this format time, and we're going to do the exact same thing, this current timer. Because we want to set the latest lap, and then we're going to say this current timer is equal to 0, because we want to reset the timer once we've lapped. So every time you lap, you want it to start again, just so you've got your laps, and then you know it. So you can add up your laps at the end if you want to know your full time. But okay, so now we've got laps on here. We want to go back to our nav bar, and inside of our nav bar, we want to say in data, no, underneath name, we're going to say props is equal to laps. And then inside of the navigation drawer, we're going to say fee list, and this is equal to fee list tile. What did I actually write? Oh yeah, it's right there. And on the fee list, we're going to have a fee for, and this is just a basic loop we can do inside of the Vue HTML or the Vue templating engine. And in here, we're going to write lap and index in laps. So we're getting the property we passed through down here, and we're just passing it up here and saying in laps. Now, to actually see it's like a red down here, it's because we need to bind a key. Every for loop needs a key, and we're going to say in here index, and that is going to give us our key of index, which is equal to the array, the index of the array, which we are currently looping through. And then in here, we're just going to simply say lap is equal to index plus 1. So we're going to start from 1, and then we're going to say it's equal to lap.formatted time. Now, if we hit save and we check it out, there's nothing there, but if we hit start and then we hit lap and we check. Okay guys, I just tried to get this to work, and I've realised why it's not working. I can't even stop it. It's because we haven't actually passed through the laps yet through to the navbar from up here, from the home. So we're going to say in here laps is equal to lap or laps, and then hit save. And now we can hit start, let that play, then we can hit lap, and we can lap it again and again. And now if we check inside of here, you can see our laps we currently have. One at 7 seconds, one at 8 seconds, and one at 4 seconds. So that is the navbar completely complete for now. We next up want to set up, so we've got start and lap, we want to set up pause. So back inside the timer, we're going to go where this class is, and we're going to say at click is equal to pause. Sorry, dollar emit, or sorry, dollar emit, and then we're going to say pause. So back over to our app, we're going to again put in here pause, and we're going to set that equal to pause. So now back in our methods, we're going to create underneath lap, we're going to say pause is equal to window dot clear interval, and we're going to say this dot ticker. So remember, we created a variable up here called undefined. We're now setting, so we set it equal underneath here in tick, we set it to equal set interval, and now we're going to clear the ticker. And we're going to say this dot current time is equal to 0. This dot formatted time is equal to 0, 0, 0, and then this dot. I just read pause shouldn't actually have any of this. That should stay fine. It should just stay in here. This dot timer state is equal to paused. I think that is good. So if we hit refresh and we hit start and we get it up to what, 10, we hit lap, we wait until it gets a bit up to what, 10, hit pause, and nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? So on click, we're going to emit a function or a event called pause. Okay guys, so once we did the pause, I realised it wasn't working for some reason, and I realised Vue automatically imported this set interval from timers, and we don't want that. That doesn't do anything good for us. That just causes issues. So now if we go back over to the timer and we hit start and we hit pause, we can instantly pause. If we hit start again, and again we can hit pause, which is extremely useful. So the pause now works, and now in timer view we can now finally get onto the last one, which is our how to put this, stop button. Jesus, I don't know why my mind went blank. We're going to say it's equal to click, and we'll say dollar emit, and we're going to say stop. So now back in our app.view, we're going to say stop, and we're going to go underneath. Yeah, I know there's an error. I haven't actually created stop yet. We're now going to say stop is equal to window.clear interval, and we're going to say this.ticker. We're also going to say this.current timer is equal to 0. This.formatted time is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This.timer state is equal to stopped. So that looks pretty good. If we come over and hit refresh, and now we hit start, and we get to 10 seconds, we hit pause, we actually lap it, and we can check in here we have that lap for 10 seconds, and then we hit stop, and that will restart it, but our laps remain consistent always. So next thing we need to do, as all the functionality is set up for the timer app, we need to create the little toast what pops up and it's like, yo, hello, my name's Toast, and I do magic things. That's how I imagine it coming up. So these are called snack bars in Vuetify, and we're going to pull it inside the Fee app component, but underneath the Fee content, and we're going to call this Fee snack bar. And we're going to set a few things to this. We're going to say Fee model is equal to snack bar. We created this earlier, if you remember, and then we're going to say the color is equal to info, and the timeout is equal to 2000. Oh, hello. Is equal to 2000, and the reason it is equal to 2000 seconds, or not seconds, 2000, is because it says this snack bar is only going to last 2000 or 2 seconds. Basically, this is divided by 1000, so 2 seconds. Inside the snack bar, we're going to have something saying new lap, and then we're going to say this dot latest lap. So as we created a variable earlier called latest app, we're going to utilize that inside of here, and then we're going to have a fee button which has dark, flat, and on click it's going to go snack bar is equal to false. Inside of the actual thing, we're going to write close and then hit save. Now if we hit start, we let it go up a few, and we hit lap, we don't actually get anything because we don't actually call it yet. So now every time, so if we go down to our lap, we're going to say this dot lap snack bar is equal to true. And now if we go back up here and we hit start, we let it run for a minute and we hit lap, as you can see our toast comes up saying a new lap of 7 seconds. So if we check in here, it's in there for 7 seconds. And that, I believe, is our time app. So we can pause, we can lap, we can start, and we can stop. That is absolutely awesome. But it would be cool to set up the state. So we use the state for a reason. So inside of timer, we have this @click start event. So we want to say disabled is equal to state is equal to running. So we say if state is equal to running, and then we're going to say if the state is equal to running, then this is disabled. If the state is going to be equal to, so we're going to say disabled. If the state is equal to stopped, or state is equal to paused. We want to copy this exact same one and pull it down on pause as well. So if it's stopped or if it's paused, we cannot use it. And the last one is the error. So we're going to say if state stopped, we cannot use it, and that is the only one we want to be able to not use this one with. And now if we hit save, everything should be working fine. So let's hit start, and then once we hit start, you can see we can't click again. Our cursor has gone to a flat color. And now if we hit pause, we can no longer hit lap or pause, so nothing will happen. But if we hit start again, and we can now hit lap, and that will lap it for us. And again, pause. And if we hit stop, we can't use pause or lap. We can only use start. So that is how you can conditionally disable your components. So guys, this has been it for us. We've created this cool time wrap. Hopefully it's quite a short video, because I know people like these short videos when we go through them quite quickly and we get through a lot. So we got through today, let's recap. We got through Vuetify theme styling, we got through building a time wrap again in the correct way using seconds and formatting it. So it is just vanilla JavaScript and formatting it. And then we also learned how to use eventlessness using emit and start, and so this stuff up here. We use the @click events for events, and then we also conditionally disabled some buttons, which was kind of awesome. And we also have some laps down here, which was kind of cool. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video, it really does help. If you want to learn more, or just join the ride with us of this 100 days of code journey, then hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or you need any help, you got a query or anything at all, drop it in the comments, or join us at our Discord server. The link will be in the description, and come chat away and meet some new people. So hopefully we see you there. So anyway guys, thank you for watching, and peace out.